Hey guys, Jarod and Gabby back with another episode of the Kicks and Shit Show. Gabby, what is going on?
Just another day in paradise, Jarod.
Quarantine paradise?
In quarantine-ish paradise. I've been starting to break out a little bit. I'm very excited that things are opening up. I got a haircut this week.
I
I don't know
know
if
you
I'm
did.
supposed to share that, but
Well,
'cause we're still kind of like,
of course,
but girls gotta
I
do what a
know
girl
you
gotta
did
do.
because I texted you all week, and that's all you talked about was this haircut that you were doing.
I was gonna say, how many times did I refer to getting my hair did this week?
At least
Over on.
75,000, at least.
This is how often Jarod and I talk, you guys.
Well, funny you say that. How often we talk. So I sent you a rather cryptic text this morning on filming. I literally was like, "You up?" Question mark.
Yeah, it's funny because as a female, I have so many thoughts on this text message. And like those who know me in the streets call me Gabby Savage. You know who you are. I'm sure you're watching. I respond, but I wait until the next day. Like, I don't, like, what do you think my response is going to be if you're texting me at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, "You up?" "Oh, I'm painting my nails. I'm braiding my hair." Like, nah, I'm either sleeping or come over. Like, I'm a respectful lady. So that's why I'm going to call you out. You want to come over late? We can talk sneakers till the sun comes up. I have to book it on my calendar before midnight. Okay, boys? Otherwise, I will text you at 11 o'clock in the morning being like, "Oops, sorry I missed your text." Yeah, go ahead.
Well, of course, it's hilarious because my text was like sent at like 10 a.m. So like it's like totally out of context. I just thought it was funny. Like, "Sup, girl, you up?" Like just to see what her response would be.
One eye open, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm up." "Okay, Jarod, are you happy?" Just because my feet haven't hit the floor yet doesn't mean I'm up. I like to sleep in. I'm a bit of a night owl.
Well, and it's
So
so funny, right? Because that's a little bit of an inside for like you guys to know how our working dynamics are. Like my peak hours are 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. That's like when I'm freshest and most energy. And like it probably is the exact opposite. Not probably, it is the exact opposite for Gabby, right? She is a afternoon, evening, night owl. So our conversations are hilarious because I'm like a mile a minute in the morning. Like, here are all these ideas. She's like, "Got it." Like, and then all night she's like, "Buzz, buzz, buzz." And I'm like, "Yo, it's 10 o'clock. I'm exhausted." Going to bed, right? Like,
meanwhile, I'm like, I do my best work from the hours of like 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. when the creative juices are really flowing. Like I'm on an evening walk and I'll text Jarod 37 times. Be like, "What do you think about this? Here's what I'm going to do for an outfit pick. What about this for an episode? By the way, I got my haircut this week in case I didn't already tell you." Friendly reminder.
and it
And it's
literally,
usually that fast.
yes, it comes in at that cadence and that pitch. So it's often like, whoa. But that is what makes a partnership strong, right? The embracing the differences. And speaking of differences, Gabby, what a question we get all the time is sneaker culture. How do I get involved? What's it all? Because I like sneakers, but I feel like I don't have 1,000 pairs. And everyone knows me, I don't have 1,000 pairs. You have at least 10 times as many sneakers as I do. But I consider myself someone who is like part of the sneaker culture. So let's talk about how people can get involved and get over that like initial intimidation hurdle, right? Because I think that's for a lot of people, that's their first thing. But I only have like 3 pairs, so how can I be part of the sneaker culture?
I agree. I mean, I don't even consider myself a sneakerhead. Sure, my Instagram bio might say that, but it's only because I'm limited in terms of characters. So I got to be tight and to the point. Get it right, get it tight. But I think that the sneaker culture can be very intimidating and you can be a part of it if you just have an interest. I think that's what to me is really great. And I know we've talked about culture versus community on this show a lot. And the culture is the hot guy that walked by that I'm like, "Ooh, this is kind of cool. Like maybe I should check it out. I like the style that comes behind some of these kicks." But the community is like, "Oh, damn, he actually has personality. He's smart. He makes me laugh. I'm going to stick around for this one. He might be a keeper." So that's kind of how I differentiate it. Single lady over here, in case you weren't already sure with the analogies. But for me, I've always been interested in the culture ever since I was young. And I just didn't really know how to get involved. And I think, like I said, if there's an interest there, you can be a part of it. It's just educating yourself, right? It's knowing about launches. And, for me, I know when you send me those "you up" messages on a Saturday at 9 a.m., I'm up because launches come out at 10. Sunday, my phone is on Do Not Disturb. Nah, exactly. But knowing the difference between walking to your local Foot Locker or Champs and just picking something off the shelves, which is also great, versus when do I need to be up and set my alarm or have the sneaker apps ready? I think that's a big part of just educating yourself so you're not getting slammed with these resale prices.
Yeah.
And getting involved can be whatever you make it.
Yeah. I think you hit a great point right there, right? Of course, there are the launches and the exclusives that come out that that's where all the excitement is surrounded, right? And all the quote unquote hype beasts come out. And okay, you can definitely get those pairs too and be part of that. But as Gabby just said, you can go to Foot Locker's, Champs, wherever you buy your sneakers, walk in and be like, yo, that's a fire pair. I want those. Guess what? That's cool too. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, all right, the Yeezy whatever's come out today, I got to get them. I mean, I'm not saying don't. If you want them, get them. The Jordan retro, whatever's, sure, if you want them, get them. But to your point, understanding that that's one piece of the culture. The other piece is, and we'll talk about this later in the show, is there are classic pairs that exist of certain brands that are out there. They're ubiquitous. And just because they're classic doesn't mean you can't get them because everyone has them. Like, it's so much of it is about what you like and how it fits for you. And that's the big thing, right? It's about individuality. If you rock it, all right, you rock it. It's cool. You don't got to justify to anybody why you got this pair and not something else. It's not about that.
Right. And I agree. I think a lot of the culture stems from the Jordans and the retros. And again, we'll talk more about this when we talk about classic silhouettes and what that even means. What is a retro? Is it about the silhouette? Is it about the colorway? Or is it both? But now it's expanded so much because sneakers are having such a big moment in fashion that it's made it much more inclusive. Like, I've gone to Champs before, big fan of Champs. I've done some work with them too. Amazing brand under the Foot Locker umbrella. And I've gone looking for one thing. Like, I went in looking for the Nike Air Max 270 Reacts. I wanted them in the rainbow colors. Tried them on and I ended up getting them in a different color. And then I tried on a pair of Pumas while I was there that I get complimented on all the time. Not normally something that I would have gone to look at, but because I'm taking the time to educate myself, see what's out there, that's where some of my favorite kicks come from. Not necessarily from hype beast culture that is centered more around Jordans and Yeezys. And don't get me wrong, I like those too. I don't discriminate when it comes to different styles. Yes, lots of them, as you can see. But I think it's okay. So if you want to dip your toe and start by going to the store, it's a great way to get involved. And honestly, you can find some good sales. Not going to lie, I love a good sale.
No doubt. One of the funny things as we wrap this talk about sneaker culture, when I was younger, living in Brooklyn, I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and one of my best friends at the time, I remember he had these Nike lows, and he had them in literally every color that came out. And it wasn't so much that they were, a drop and brand new or whatever. It's just that he liked that shoe and was like, I want them in every possible color they come in. You can do that now too, right? There are so many like classic shoes and silhouettes that exist that are always out. Like Cortez's, for instance, right? For Nike, like you can get them in the normal white and black. If you want to get with the blue and the red, like, okay, like that's cool. There are so many different colorways for shoes that currently exist. If that works for you, rock it. Like, I think that's wonderful. Like, if that's what draws you in and what you're into, do that. The big thing with Gabby and I, what we always say is just educate yourself, right? Google exists, people. It literally takes half a second to find any kind of information you want. It's at your fingertips. Just make yourself educated about it.
Yep. And I agree with that. I think my biggest piece of advice for people who want to get more into sneaker culture is don't be intimidated by the culture. And it's all about quality and not quantity. At least for me, when you're getting started, don't feel like you need to pressure yourself to have a million pairs. I don't have a million pairs. People think I have a lot more than I do, but compared to the stereotypical sneakerheads, I ain't got shit. So, but Air Max 1s are my bag. So whenever I see those out, or if I see a good deal and it's a colorway that I like, I'm going to go for it and just keep on trying things on. And if you have one pair or if you have 1,000 pairs, you're a part of it if you want to be.
Love it. Perfect way to end that segment. We're going to talk about some classic silhouettes coming up next. We'll talk to you guys in a bit. Hey guys. So we just finished talking about classic shoes and classic silhouettes. And, just in my research over the past week, I was just looking into some stuff and I saw a list come out from Footwear News about some classic shoes. And, it's summertime. People always looking to kind of revitalize, refreshing their connection. And it was like best retro sneakers for men. And the 3 shoes they pulled up were the Puma California vintage sneakers. those lows that have that kind of tennis look from '83. But those came out. Then they had the Reebok Classic shoe. Everyone knows that Reebok shoe. It's that running shoe with the Reebok logo. It's blue with the white tongue and the star logo on the tongue. And the third, the Saucony Bullet sneakers. And it was so interesting that these were the three shoes that Footwear News happened to choose, because those aren't the only classic shoes. Obviously, there are so many different versions of classic shoes. And it got me thinking, when we talk about classic shoes, Gabby, and you want to revitalize your collection, as we talked about earlier to start the show, what are some shoes that people can look at and look to get into when they think about classics?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a classic man. I
okay, Jadena, I got you.
I think this list is very interesting. It's, Footwear News for us is a great resource for you guys if you're not as familiar. It's a trade publication that, is very on trend. They predict trends, and it's just great for overall industry information. So it's a resource that we use a lot. I think this article, for me, it's lacking a lot of things, and it's very interesting to me on who was invited to the party and who was not. First of all, why does it have to be about classic silhouettes for men?
Uh-oh.
I mean, love you, Footwear News, but
what's
your
up with
girl
the lady
here wears
shoes?
a lot of men's sneakers. Exactly. Just give a nod. I might rock some of them too.
Well, would you rock any of those three shoes that we mentioned? I just mentioned?
So it's funny, and I think we'll do a copper drop on this eventually, because there is a nod to that type of Reebok. And the ASICS is coming out with a style in a couple weeks that reminds me of that classic Reebok look.
You can say no.
I don't know if they're not necessarily my favorite. I love a good retro, but ones that I'm surprised are not on here, and maybe because it's too mainstream fashion at this point. Like Stan Smiths were tennis sneakers back in the day. Adidas Sambas. Even my English teacher in 6th grade at the Pingree School had a pair of Sambas. And I was like, okay. I was like,
I'm going to get those.
Right? Yeah. Creative writing just got way cooler. Like the Nike Cortez, I'm surprised isn't on there. I know you mentioned that too, but Nike started out as a running shoe, and
sure
Bowerman's original cleats that he made by hand for Nike are now on Sotheby's and are up for auction.
Gonna fetch probably $150,000 for those bad boys.
Yeah, I mean, and that to me is also part of the classic collection, or even the Blazers or the Tailwinds that have more of that retro vintage style. So I think it's very interesting. I mean, I don't know if Jordans are necessarily considered this kind of classic, because the tone of the piece is really appealing to a certain demographic. But I am surprised that those styles are not mentioned and included at all.
I think you're right? It's very clear that those three shoes sort of who they're targeting and who they're speaking to. But if you're doing that, I mean, the Cortezes, I think that target audience can wear those. I think the Stan Smiths, as you mentioned, those are classic. And by the way, a classic pair that I just picked up this week, the Puma Low Suedes. I mean, I love those. They are more of a casual shoe. I mean, the suede is just fire. Can't wait to do a little fit pick with that for you guys. Yeah, my fit picks are getting better, by the way. Maybe. Gabby, are they getting better?
You're very coachable, so I really appreciate that. Jarod actually takes my feedback very much to heart, and it's funny. I sent him a flat lay that I did this week just for our social coming up, rocking the sweatshirt. We'll talk more about that, the sweatshirt, in a little bit. But Jarod said to me, "Are you just trying to show me that you're better at taking pictures than I am?" Nah, I'm very proud of the progress that you made, and it's very hard to take a good picture of photos. So all you sneakerheads out there that are taking dope ass photos, you guys get a lot of credit, because it's a lot harder than it looks.
It sure is. And Gabby's saying it like he takes coaching, well, as if I had any choice, because she's going to make me redo it anyway. So, I mean, but thank you. I appreciate you telling me that I take coaching and direction well. No, but I again, with these classic shoes, it's sort of those three shoes to me. The Puma one, not as much. That particular Puma they mentioned, that's not the one that I ordered, but that Puma was something I'm like, okay, I might think about that. The other two have that dad shoe look to me, right? And me personally, well, one, I'm not a dad, so there's that. But two, it's it's the Nike Monarchs. I'm not rocking a pair of Monarchs. Not because they don't fit for me. I think my actual dad might have a pair of Monarchs now that I think about it, or had them at one point in his life. I mean, he's also 70-something years old, so whatever. That's not for me. Those shoes don't rock with my aesthetic. But again, we're inclusive here. So dads, you can be part of sneaker culture too. Rock your dad shoes if you like them.
I also think though that dad shoes are a serious vibe. Like my dad rocks Skechers, as most of you guys have heard me talk about at this point. But he'll send me a pair every once in a while that I'm like, all right, Dad. It was actually his birthday the other day, so happy birthday, Papa Rosenthal. Maybe we'll get you a pair of Nikes this year. But I think the dad shoe thing is very interesting, right? And it's been a trend that's been around for a little while, and I don't see it really going anywhere just yet. I think it's something that we're stuck with. Another piece, though, that I am surprised is not anywhere in here, and it kind of connects the classics to the dad shoes, are the old school New Balances. Like New Balance is not mentioned, but remember those gray version of that classic silhouette that everybody had back in the day? I mean, I think that fits in really well on both sides. Like, I think my dad would look pretty fire in a pair of khakis with those New Balances.
Oh man, the khakis.
Oh, I went there.
Once you wear khakis, I was like, oh no.
But I don't know. I mean, khakis are a vibe, and that's why, like, I'm going to say this, and I'm sure there are people that are going to disagree with this, but I think the Yeezy 500s, kind of a dad shoe with the monochromatic, with a little bit of a tube sock in that khaki-ish color, or maybe the eggshell.
You heard it here first, people. Gabby called the Yeezy 500s a dad shoe. Wow. Mind blown.
I mean, am I wrong though, Jarod? What do you think?
I mean, I'll say this. I would not rock a pair of Yeezy 500s, so take that from what you will.
See, and you just said you don't like dad shoes, so there you go. Maybe you are back-ended proving my point, maybe.
I mean, if you want to use that transitive math property, sure. I never said that, but cool, that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for that one, but that's okay. We say what we say for that reason.
I will say this though: the Yeezy 350, right? Those I like a lot. Like those
aren't dad shoes.
Well, yes, those are not dad.
I could not imagine Papa Rosenthal walking around in like the 350 zebras. I mean, I would have to do a full styling. I think he would get really into the process. For those who have not met my dad or have not heard about him, my dad is like, he dresses very conservative, but he is the shopper of the family. Like, he makes me look like I'm like low key. Oh yeah.
Where would Papa Rosenthal go to style his Yeezy 350s?
Everywhere. He would rock them everywhere. I mean, I don't know. Where would I take him to shopping?
Yeah. Or like, what are his stores? And then what stores are you going to? No, Dad, we're not going to that store. No, we're not going there.
I mean, right now we are in a recession, so my dad loves a good outlet. Down the Jersey Shore there's a lot of outlets, whether it's Polo, whether it's Nike, whether it's Adidas,
all right.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, my dad's not out here walking around in a pair of like, I don't know, Isabel Marant jeans or anything fancy like that.
He's going Wrangler. He's going Wrangler.
Yeah, him and Brett Favre maybe matching outfits between the Skechers and the Wrangler jeans.
Oh.
That actually might be where he gets his style advice from. I don't know, but he does appreciate a good aesthetic. I will say that.
Poor Papa Rosenthal, we're skewering his body.
I'm going to feature him. I'm telling you, if you guys want to see the Rosenthal clan up here on this show, you let me know. My mom is ready already.
Oh, listen, we are happy to have Mama Rosenthal on here showing off some kicks. But Stay tuned, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about that fun sweatshirt Gabby's wearing and what's going around the sneakers and brands, as well as a little shoe and tell. See you in a bit. Hey, guys. So we are going to do another segment, shoe and tell. We know it's a favorite here. I'm going to show off one of my pairs, one of my favorites. We recently talked about summer shoes, right? And how generally it's lows for me in the summer. And Gabby, you agreed, right? Because highs, it's more material. So your feet going to get hot. But this particular pair I like a lot with the right kind of outfit. So I'm going to show it here. It also happens to be one of my favorite silhouettes.
I'm really excited because I just want you guys to know that Jarod was like, I'm going to surprise you and I'm not going to tell you in advance what I'm showing. So this is anticipation building for me as well, guys.
All right, here it comes. It is the Jordan 3 silhouette, the Mocha. Oh, I know we're going in and out. I know we're going in and out. I know, a little magic. All right, a little Jordan 3 silhouette, the white with the Mocha. All right. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get this for you in Instagram so you can see it fully. But I'm going to tell you what I love about this shoe. Well, it's just so crispy, right? Like, it's got that, which is so funny. It's that solid white base, which Gabby generally hates. I like, but not always. Now, mind you, you guys also know I hate getting my shoes dirty, so this is a problem. Don't worry, but lucky for me, I got my Jason Mark wipes in my back pocket. Shout out to Gabby Rosenthal for sending me some. So if I ever rock them, I just wipe them down real quick. The elephant print is one of the signatures of that silhouette. I like it because it's so cool looking, and with the mocha color around there, man, you put that on with a pair of like navy shorts, a white crispy tee. Ooh, you styling in the summertime. You looking good, right? And it is a high top, but it's not like a super, super high, right? Like in many ways, the 3 to me, I know it's a high. It kind of looks like a mid in a weird way. It's not quite like, oh my God, like the one. Even the ones are like, oh, that's like a high. Like this is like a low high, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, I actually don't consider those to be high tops.
Yeah,
I think they're like a low or mid. And it's funny because I rock a mid one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the mid to me is as offensive as a lot of true sneakerheads find it to be. Like, you'll never have to enter a raffle for a mid.
Definitely.
Unless there's like some kind of player exclusive. I don't know why. I don't know what the sneaker world has against mids. I think they're kind of fire. Like, as a female, they're cute. They're like a little bit lower. It's nice. But I agree with you. I think these 3s, and I know you're a big fan of Tinker's design.
I love Tinker.
And love the elephant print. I think it's a classic that is always in style. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't agree that those are a true high, and I think they're great for summer. I love a 3.
Love it. And again, the white makes it good for summertime, right? And that mocha is something I like that mocha color. I just think it's just nice and it works. You could argue that, okay, mocha, by a fall, sure. But again, with the navy shorts and a crispy white tee, I think you're looking pretty good with those. The other part about this, and I hope we'll show it again on Insta, I love the heel, right? Because instead of the Nike Air, which I know you guys can see, you got, we're disappearing. Don't worry. It's got the Jumpman logo with the Air underneath, which I love, right? Because the original is the Nike swoosh with the Air. I just like that little different detail right there. But yeah, a great shoe, I think, for summer. You can, of course, rock it with jeans. Obviously, I wore it in the fall and winter I had a pair of navy blue corduroys. I had a white shirt, a navy tie, and like a patchwork blazer. Like, I mean, listen, and that was a late fall, early winter look. You can do that. I mean, it's an all season shoe, right? That's what I like about this. But if we're summertime, I can rock it in the summer.
I agree. We just got to get you to take it outside because it's white. So we got to get you protecting your sneakers first, because I know how you get when it's cold, Jarod.
Listen.
And also, I don't want to get snow on my kicks. I mean, I don't blame you. I don't either, but
yes,
it's okay to tiptoe outside in those.
These did not make the trip to Chicago All-Star. Not sure. They were not coming.
Missed opportunity. That's a missed opportunity. No, but I think 3s are great in general, and I love I think they're finally picking a date for the true blue 3s, and that like blue cerulean color. I'm a big fan of those. Blue is my favorite color as well. I know, I saw that little eyebrow raise. And I think those are great for summer too. I'm glad that 3s are having this moment as well.
Yeah.
But I think that one thing that I really love that you talked about is how you style the outfit, right? And that's what makes these shoes your own and unique, is that you don't have to wear a full head to toe Jordan fit with it. You know, I don't know a lot of people who partner Jordans with corduroys, but I am here for it. I'm into all of it. Like, I think that's great, you know?
Listen, I might have to rock that outfit. I mean, not for, listen, when we take a fall or a winter pick, I'll post that one because it's a little too warm to put that on now. But yeah, I think you'll be surprised when you see that look. It's pretty nice.
Oh, fire. I'm picturing it in my head right now with the patchwork blazer, just like, you strutting around and the shoulders are going.
You know, doing my thing.
Extra kick your stuff. Like, I don't know what the movement is. You might need to get that checked out at the chiropractor. But I do think that there is something to be said about styling your kicks beyond athleisure. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about with sneakerhead like culture and sneakers 101, right? Is that most people equate sneakers as a functionality instead of a fashion statement. I mean, I have my pairs of heels too, and those who know me for a long time have seen them on a very rare occasion. But a lot of women are known to have multiple pairs of shoes. I have multiple pairs of sneakers because that's what I wear instead. And if you think of things from that lens, it's going to change your world and open up how you see sneakers in general, kind of like with the corduroy pants and the patchwork jacket. I love it.
Well said. Before we wrap, guys, we thought it was very important that we talk about, last week was Juneteenth, and everyone knows what that date is. That was the date officially in 1865 when, all the slaves were freed officially, even though the Emancipation Proclamation happened 2 years earlier in 1863. A lot of brands have put out statements, and it's been now a company-wide holiday, and all sorts of different things. And I just want to say this, just keeping in the tradition. I mean, if you rock with me anywhere personally and or with this show, and Gabby personally and or with this show, what we're going to say now is not going to be a surprise to you. I'm all for these companies doing these things and saying, okay, it's a holiday, we're going to capitalize the B in black. Sure, all well and good. But at the end of the day, are they just statements, or are you doing something behind that? What kind of actions are you taking as a company and a brand to make sure that it actually is important and not just some day that people are getting paid and they have a day off from work, right? And I'm going to really leave it there. There's really not much more to be said about that particular thing. Gabby, I know you have some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Jarod, I know you and I offline about this all the time, about the importance of education, the importance of equality. And this is something that we've said on episodes before. Don't just talk about it.
Be about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we try to do outside of our daily lives. And for me personally, also, I'm a big fan of supporting my friends. And I am blessed to be in a network of creatives that inspire me literally every day. I mean, part of the reason I live on social media is because that's where I get my feel good vibes. I mean, I get some news there too. And, not everything is peaches and roses, as it shouldn't be, because that's not real life. But I learn a lot about things that my friends are doing. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. And I think this cultural revolution that we're going through, as mentioned, that's needed to happen, is opening doors for businesses and small businesses in particular that might have gotten lost in the shuffle before. So I kind of want to take this time to give a shout out to some of the cool things that my friends are doing, that you can support Black businesses and people of color. You'll see me sharing on our Kicks and Shit Show page, as well as on my personal page. I encourage you guys to do the same with your friends in your network. Help each other out. That's what it is at the end of the day. So the first piece I'm going to show is this candle. Oh, and it's giving me vibes right now. It literally smells like the boyfriend that I don't have. Like literally making me feel some things. So I'm going to put it away. But what's really great about this candle, it's from Light the Candle Company. My girl Janelle, who I work with on the Knicks, started this line before COVID. And, she's come with great strides even since she started the company. She does everything herself, from web design to creating the scents to the wax melts, the packaging, all of it. She's a rock star. What I love about this one in particular, and this and one other candle, 50% of proceeds actually go towards Black Lives Matter. Awesome. So not only are you getting a constant reminder of how single you are, it makes your apartment smell amazing, but you're also helping to give to the cause and promote awareness to something that's really important right now. The other piece I want to talk about is this sweatshirt. Super fire, right? It's probably the most color I've worn in a long time, but I'm here for all of it. This brand is a new up-and-coming brand from my girl, Aja. Aja and I work together at the Westchester Knicks, and she is our PR social media extraordinaire. And she does all the graphics, all the production, everything. And, every time I wear this sweatshirt, I get a lot of questions about it. So she has a limited release of these now, along with some other styles. She also has different prints that she's producing that go towards Black Lives Matter. So check her out. We're going to tag all these people in both our YouTube description, and then we'll feature them on Instagram as well. But like I said, support your friends, y'all.
Absolutely.
Especially when they're doing dope stuff. I mean, how could you not?
And shout out to these awesome ladies doing wonderful things. Support Black-owned businesses and just support your friends, man. This is what it's all about. And guys, we're so excited because next week will be episode 10. Can you believe it? And we will have a special guest. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but I'll give you a hint.
No, don't tell him. Don't tell him yet.
I'll give him a hint. We've mentioned this person a couple times already, so if you're a loyal listener, you might have an idea who it is. But anyway, as always, thanks for rocking with us, guys. You know where to find us: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram. We're everywhere. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.